got my pants on.
It's not feeling good yet.
Courage and cannabis, Vegas, bound they go. The world awaits for the stories to flow. Dr. Bridget's vision, a powerful scene, changing hearts and minds, a cannabis dream. Courage in cannabis, Vegas nights ablaze. Sharing stories powerful in so many ways. Planet 13's the spot where voices ignite, changing the narrative, shining ever so bright. Cannabis is medicine, a beacon in the night, guiding those in need towards a future bright. The power of sharing, a force that sets things right, igniting conversations, sparking a new light. Courage in cannabis, Vegas lights ablaze. Sharing stories powerful in so many ways. Planet 13's the spot where voices ignite, changing the narrative, shining ever so bright. Vegas dreams are calling, stories fill the air. Courage in cannabis, a message to declare. Let your voice be heard, let your story take flight. Join the movement, shine your inner light.
Well, I heard Mr. Young sang about her. Said Southern man don't need him around anyhow. But Sweet Home CannaBama's got a different sound, where cannabis knowledge is spread all over town. Jennifer Boozer's on the airwaves, you know it's true. FM Top 106.5, she's got the crew talking about hemp and CBD with a rebel yell, educating folks and doing it well. Sweet Home CannaBama, where the weed grows high. Sweet Home CannaBama, beneath the southern sky. Sweet Home CannaBama, where the knowledge flows. Sweet Home CannaBama, where the good times grow. Now Citizen Green TV saw something special, yeah. Invited Sweet Home CannaBama to their sphere. Reaching vets with wellness, that's their aim. Spreading the word, easing the pain. MJBizCon's calling, they recognize the fame. Sweet Home CannaBama's gonna play the game. With these attentions and connections, they'll take the stage. A new era's dawning, turn a new page. Sweet Home CannaBama, where the weed grows high. Sweet Home CannaBama, beneath the southern sky. Sweet Home CannaBama, where the knowledge flows. Sweet Home CannaBama, where the good times grow. From Mobile, Alabama, the message rings so clear. Cannabis education casts away the fear. With every broadcast, the seed they sow. Sweet Home CannaBama, help the good times grow. Sweet Home CannaBama, where the weed grows high. Sweet Home CannaBama, beneath the southern sky. Sweet Home CannaBama, where the knowledge flows. Sweet Home CannaBama, where the good times grow. Roll on, CannaBama, roll on. Spread the word, let your freedom song be known. Sweet Home CannaBama, yeah.
5, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority. It's time for Sweet Home CannaBama, a show that'll answer all your questions, provide accurate information, and dispel the myths of cannabis. And have your specific questions answered by emailing Jennifer@CannaBama.com or text or call 343-0106. And now, for all things cannabis in Alabama, here's your host, Jennifer Boozer.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Jennifer Boozer, owner and founder of CannaBama in downtown Mobile. We're located at 558 St. Francis Street. Our phone number is 251-255-5155. Our website is CannaBama.com. You can find us on all the socials under Sweet Home CannaBama. And we do have some special hours for the holidays. We will be closing early on Christmas Eve around 4 so that my guys can go and celebrate with their families. And I can have Christmas Eve with my kids. And then we will be closed on Christmas Day. Please don't call me. We're closed 3 days a year, guys. You can make it. But that just means you need to come in early. We do have lots of great gifts for Christmas, including all the pantry product line you could need to infuse your holiday food items, desserts, even savory items, things that you want to introduce to your family, have a little fun for your Christmas party. We've been doing a lot of people's dirty Santa gifts, including my own. I had a Christmas party yesterday and brought some dirty Santa from the store. And we even have gift bags with matching tissue. And we're doing a gift certificate special. If you spend $50 on a gift certificate, we're going to give you $10. And if you spend $100, we're going to give you $20. So you can use that for yourself. Little gift that keeps on giving there. So a lot of people are really particular about their cannabis products. So gift certificates are a really great choice for the holidays. So come down and see us. As usual, other than Christmas, we are open 7 days a week. So we're ready to help you anytime you need. And you can always call us or find us online. So, we're not going to have a show next Monday on the 23rd. I decided that things are getting really busy for the show. And with us going on TV soon, it's kind of our last chance to take a little break. And I thought my guys could use a break. I know I sure could use a break. And I doubt anybody's going to be listening the day before Christmas anyway. So we're going to take a little break next week on the 23rd. And we'll play a really great rerun. Probably this show again, maybe. I don't know. But I just wanted to say before we get into our topic, for those of you who have lost children like me, or someone that they love, or going through, your first hard Christmas in a while, I just want to say, if you find it hard to enjoy the holidays, it takes me a long time to kind of rev up that engine. I've been trying to force feed myself Christmas music, and it's not because I don't love Christmas, but it's a huge reminder of the whole, in my life and in my heart without my son, and watching my living children enjoy the holidays is always a beautiful experience. But when you're missing some part of yourself, it makes the holidays hard. It's bittersweet. And so for those of you who may be feeling that this year or every year like me, I just want to say I'm praying for you, thinking about you. You're not alone. And if there's anything we can do at CannaBama to help make the holidays a little smoother for you, we are there to help you out 7 days a week. So, it's not all twinkle lights and candy canes for everybody. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that. I think we don't talk about things like that enough. And so from one grieving mother to whoever you are that you're struggling with some kind of hurt or pain or loss, you're not alone. So, and God loves you and we love you. So, if we can help you out, you let us know. So let's go and get into this tonight. One bit of news: the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission met last week. I believe the licensees are having to renew their licenses. They gave out some of the licenses, but the ones they're holding keep the ones that do have a license from being able to operate and make any actual money. So it's time to start renewing those $30,000 and $40,000 licenses for next year. And of course, the people that have already paid those fees understandably are hoping for some relief, because like I said, they've put all this time and money into complying with the state and they haven't been able to actually make any money. They were asking for a 66% reduction in the fee as long as these lawsuits are hanging over everyone's head. And it looks like it will be indefinitely, but they only actually got 25% reduction. So I guess we should be grateful that we got some kind of relief for our friends, but I think that they could have done a little bit better since the ones that got licenses aren't able to operate, and it through no fault of their own. So anyway, I guess that's it. Till the next meeting, Alabama, grow up. It's embarrassing. I don't know what else to say about that. Anyway, so tonight I want to get into our guests. I met one of our guests. His name is Guy Rocourt and his beautiful wife, Anaya Bogue. They are here with us tonight. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
Sorry, I had to kind of get a little mouthful out there. We got we got a lot going on.
That is a beautiful. You have a heart, lady.
Oh, well, thank you. I just, that's been heavy on my heart. I almost mentioned it to y'all about me saying that. I was like, oh, well, I'm sure they won't mind. But it's been heavy on my heart for the last 2 weeks to say something on the show specifically. So I'm not sure who that was for, but hopefully the message was received because I feel that heaviness. I think I'm feeling it today, actually. I just told someone else, I don't feel like myself today. I just feel kind of heavy, but it comes with the territory. Grief is the price of love, and love is worth it, especially when it comes to your own children.
Yeah. No
well,
kidding.
I want to say I met Guy. I met you on the smoking porch at MJBizCon because of your T-shirt. And we talked about you guys last week. And you had this great woman-centric T-shirt on, and I can't remember all the things that it said, but I had to tap you on the shoulder and find out who you were because not a lot of dudes walking around with the word menopause on the back of their T-shirt.
No, yeah, I'm really proud to have it. And, that was a surprising outcome. I've always been a big fan of, creating a shirt. I feel like it brings big brands real.
Yes.
In the traditional market, when we weren't able really to brand things, especially in Los Angeles, you see all these funny T-shirts by association. That's how you might know a plug, somebody who's doing something Canna-centric. So I told Anaya, we got to have shirts. So when we go to BizCon, one, I just love to represent the brand and everything.
Right.
And it worked. A lot of people would stop and be like, what's your shirt about? And it gave me a chance to talk about CLEA midlife. So that was a great outcome.
Yes, it was, because it wasn't exactly clear what the point of the shirt was, but the phrases on it, it just drew people in. It drew me from across the patio in a haze of smoke to tap a stranger on the shoulder. I mean, I don't usually meet strangers, but it was still, a little intimidating because you were having this little powwow, and I was like, this is someone I have to talk to. I had just done a show about menopause, and so I was like, any guy that's walking around with that on his shirt, I have to meet this person. So I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I learned a lot about midlife from my wife, Anaya. I hadn't realized how great cannabis was. I mean, I knew that, for some indications like sleep, but the brain fog was an interesting one. And when I was presented with the data about CBG, which I had heard of before as a cannabinoid, of course, but I had heard that it brings focus. I didn't really believe it, but it really comes down to dosing. I think a lot of times with both CBD, CBG, CBC, and a lot of the C's, if you will,
right.
people are underdosing, and you really got to get those milligrams up. So CLEA offers a 50 milligram cap. I end up taking 2 of them, but it really brings, it's not like a caffeine jitteriness, it's more a brain alertness.
Yes.
And so while not a woman myself, my understanding is during the journey, you get these bouts of just fog, not able to focus or put an email together. And these caps are perfect for that.
Right. No, I agree. And I agree with you on the potency, that people aren't going high enough on the milligrams with a lot of these cannabinoids. I mean, I have attributed it to being in the South and how we eat inflammation, covered in inflammation with a side of inflammation, and I tell that to people that live in California all the time, and they're like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, we really like it. We really like it. We wash it down with inflammation. So, higher potency products are necessary when the body is more inflamed and less healthy and has more detoxification to do to kind of get back to that state of homeostasis. So I 100% agree with you on the efficacy of higher potency when it comes to these cannabinoids, because I think we're just scratching the surface, really.
Yeah, 100%.
And then,
and
being able to use them adaptogenically and sort of tailor this is exactly how much CBD or CBG is going to go into a product. The ability to do that and sort of innovate these products that are so specific to different people's needs, I think is the sweet spot where we're at right now in the industry. The innovation is off the charts.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've got to constantly be looking at what needs need to be met, and we've talked about how underserved women are, and especially on the topic of menopause. You know, people talk about PMS like it's not a big deal because everybody gets it, but not a lot of women want to talk about menopause. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk more with Anaya and Guy about menopause and CLEA. Stay with us.
Native Black Cultivation is a true pioneer in Alabama's cannabis industry. As the first medical cannabis company to harvest in the state, they're committed to producing quality, sustainable cannabis. Native Black Cultivation blends integrity, innovation, and inclusivity to ensure every product from the farm meets the highest standard of quality and safety. Their mission extends beyond cultivation, focusing on social and economic change through education and community engagement. Visit nativeblackcultivation.com to learn more.
Hey, Alabama football fans. Are you headed up to T-Town this fall for the game? If you forget to come by CannaBama first, you can shop at Tuscaloosa's first hemp dispensary, Freedom CBD and Wellness on 15th Street, just a mile up from campus. They have the largest selection of products in West Alabama and are ready to hemp you out with all your tailgate needs. Follow Freedom CBD and Wellness on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Roll Tide. At CannaBama, we believe that CBD is for everyone. Our demographic is human. There's no race, age, gender, socioeconomic, education, or religious difference in our chemical and electrical systems. Let no human be excluded. We work hard to create an environment of learning. Our goal is to bring together all people in need of help while celebrating each moment of relief. Educate, advocate, unify, and celebrate. Find us at CannaBama.com, Facebook, and Instagram.
Mullins Lobbyist Firm is Alabama's frontline lobbyist team specializing in cannabis, autism, epilepsy, and small business. We fight for you in Montgomery. For information on current and future federal and state legislation, including S 4226 Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act and S 980 Industrial Hemp Act Farm Bill 2024, visit the website mullinslobbyistfirm.com and follow us on social media. Is there a cause or issue you want to see changed or would like to get support for? Let us help you. Email al4medicalcannabisfreedom@gmail.com.
Welcome back to Sweet Home CannaBama. Now with all the information you want about cannabis, here's your host, Jennifer Boozer.
Welcome back. Tonight we're talking with Guy Rocourt and Anaya Bogue about her new product line, CLEA, specifically formulated for menopausal women. Anaya, tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got into this work in cannabis.
Sure. So I don't know how far you want me to go back. I mean, cannabis goes back to the 80s for me, but
Right.
it got much more serious, obviously, when Guy and I got married and we're growing once upon a time, and I didn't sleep for several years to make sure folks had the medicine they needed. But anyway,
Wow.
my life's work has really been focused on girls and women's empowerment. And recently, with another project we were working on, it was just synergistic and obvious that we should combine our superpowers, Guy with his expertise in cannabis and formulation of products, and me and my just deep passion for women's wellness. And it just sort of came together very, very quickly and easily, as it does when I think you're onto something.
Absolutely.
And he had formulated these products for me, a version of them for me, as I started moving through midlife and menopause. And I'm really big on pushing back against shame, and because I think it just limits us so significantly.
And it's very pointless. I could not agree with you more.
Absolutely. And so, to me, I wanted to do something in this space so that we are rewriting the narrative around menopause. So our mission is really twofold. It's creating and offering these incredibly efficacious products to help mitigate symptoms that are not to be taken lightly. I mean, they are deeply impacting any woman who's, and I'm sure you can attest to this as well. I mean, I've had days where I was like, I guess this was just it. Like, I'm just not myself anymore.
That was my entire day today. Yeah.
Yeah. Whose body is this? You know, all of those things. And given the important role that women play in households, in workplaces, in the world, I just am deeply passionate about making sure that women are able to fire on all cylinders.
Right.
And so the two-part mission is these incredibly efficacious, clean from start to finish products. And secondly, it's about rewriting, challenging the narrative around midlife and menopause as something that we need to fear and dread as women, and instead see it as this transformative time. One of our taglines is "Welcome to your metamorphosis."
I love that. I saw that, the metamorphosis. That's so clever. And it's so like, oh man, they thought enough of this issue that's so huge for me to be creative and to make it, you know, I mean, these products, I don't know if you guys can see, these products are beautiful. Yes, I got my box of products. This oil smells amazing. I had to break the seal on that. But yeah, I mean, the products are beautiful and they look like they're made for a grown woman too. Let's mention that. You know,
was the goal.
I am, yes, I'm too grown for a cartoon character. That does not scream, I'm sorry that you are having this issue.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. And that was really part of the mission, is we wanted every aspect of this to be, you know, speaking to women of our age group that are sophisticated, they are smart, they want wellness, they want the right product. And
it doesn't look like a Centrum Silver or a jar of Metamucil that, you know, you're like, wait a minute, what?
Yes.
Wait, when do we start getting a senior citizen discount? Is it 50, 55? I need to know. I'm 46, thank God, but you know, it's just around the corner.
I hear you. And I'm really happy to hear that they spoke to you that way, because that was the intention.
Yes. This says, you know, like, I'm grown. This is quality. They cared enough about what it looks like to not look like it came from the Walmart vitamin section, where you're looking at something going, is this even real vitamin C? You know what I mean? And it's well put together. It's preserved well. I know that these bottles are formulated and wrapped the way they are to preserve the integrity of the product inside of it. You know, I mean, it's
exactly.
I mean, I'm just looking at it. I haven't tried it, you know, but I'm looking at it, and this looks like something that is going to be well thought out, you know. I think it's silly sometimes to me how packaging impacts people's decision making, but I find myself judging by the packaging as well. Does it look like they threw it together on a inkjet printer that they borrowed from their 12-year-old, you know, or does it look like they put in the time and effort to really make this a quality product all around? And it matters. So 100% A+ on the packaging.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and I think it's also meant to speak to the fact that, you know, while these incredible products are fueled by this amazing plant, first and foremost, because we're still dealing with what, you know, Guy called cannabis shame and prohibition mindset, yada, yada. It's like, I want every woman, if we have the fortune to live long enough, is going to go through menopause. I want every woman to have access to these products, whether it's in addition to hormone replacement therapy for women who cannot do HRT because they've had a form of cancer that just prohibits them from using it.
Right.
Obviously, we need to combine that with lifestyle and nutrition choices, but no woman should not have access to this because she thinks, oh, I'm going to have to go into a dispensary, or I'm going to have to use cannabis. And there's that cannabis shame and that old like reefer madness mentality that prohibits women from accessing it. So,
well, and multiply that times being in Alabama, if you can imagine. That's a number. We just don't know what it is. It's high. But multiply that times Alabama, and you can understand the stigma. I also thought this was cool. I hope you could see this, how the label peels open for more information and the QR. This is very, very cool. Very cool packaging. I've not seen a cannabis product with a label like that. So
well, we wanted to make sure that like it had a clean aesthetic. like many high-end women's products, but also had all the compliance information and a QR code so somebody could go and find that information. And, you'll notice that when you got the box, there's no unit carton. We really wanted to have the least amount of packaging, but the most premium packaging at the same time, which, in consumer products, sometimes you get way too much packaging and the unboxing is a great experience, but then you just end up throwing that away.
Well, and you're like, well, maybe don't print so many promotional things and stickers and extra things and make the price of the product better. That's what I think. Cause I'm a single mom. So I'm always, how can I save money? But yes, but these look like the same. They could be sitting on a shelf next to $800 skincare, but they're not going to cost you that even a fraction of, that crazy amount of money. And you're going to get real solution, real answer to a real problem, and back to the shame thing. I think, we don't talk about this enough. I had a show several weeks ago with Dr. Bridget Williams, and we talked about the subject of menopause and more about the symptoms and what that looks like. And in general, how cannabis on paper could be a good solution. And then here you come and you have an actual product line that's formulated specifically for that. And that is the ticket right there.
Yeah. It's within our lifetime that women were not only incarcerated for cannabis, but also incarcerated for menopause symptoms, right? We have to remember that in our lifetime, women were being incarcerated for hysteria, if you want to call it that.
Right.
We're not feeling like themselves. And so I think there's a commonality between that kind of cannabis shame and feeling like, oh, this is a prohibited substance, and also talking about menopause. And so the fact that they even work together is even just more interesting to me. I was like blown away by that concept.
Well, and I mentioned this before, PMS and menopause are not normal. They're common because most of us suffer from some level of those symptoms because of our diet, exposure to toxins, our lifestyle, all the things, but we didn't used to have things like PCOS and all those things like that, the infertility that happens for so many women now, and I can remember when I was a kid, only old women like 50, 60, which I know what I'm saying sounds stupid now, but when I was 10 years old, 50 was ancient, and you never heard about people in their 20s getting breast cancer. And then in my 20s, I had a friend get breast cancer, and so I have a friend who just had a full hysterectomy. That's automatic menopause. There's a lot of reasons that women end up with these type of symptoms, even if they're not specifically in menopause. We treat our bodies like garbage cans and out come the symptoms, But I think,
and also there is such a thing as I'm sure, Jennifer, that there is something called surgically, basically the surgery, like a hysterectomy, throws us into menopause.
Right. There's no buildup. There's no nothing. It's just, I bet it's similar to when you have a baby. Your hormones have this great buildup to a delivery, and then it's like dropping you off a cliff. And they wonder why we get depressed.
Well, no kidding. No. And, I heard somebody say the other day that the equivalent of a radical hysterectomy would be like removing a man's testicles. And we would never do that and be like, so, everything should be okay. Like, no, everything is not going to be okay when you have a complete hysterectomy and your hormones are just total.
Right.
So again, these products are for, for all women, and women should not have to suffer. We're the first generation where I think we're really going to turn this upside down.
I hope so. It's past time, because otherwise, how did women give birth and just go back out in the field? They could not have had the cramps and the crazy town brain I had with PMS. And that's the first thing I noticed, other than my joint pain and sleep improving, was I stopped having extreme PMS. And I was like, this is freaky, because this is supposed to happen, right? And it's not supposed to happen. And I think that was one of the most initially surprising things for me, was that all of a sudden I didn't feel like my breasts were going to explode and I was going to cry at the thought of Finding Nemo, which I hadn't seen in like 10 years, and the back pain and all the stuff. It's just, and then when it's all done, after you've done that for 30-something years, and then you get to go through menopause. So, yeah, when we come back, we're going to talk more about this lovely topic. Stay with us.
FM Talk 1065, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority, and Dr. Bill Williams.
The Gulf Coast can expect mostly cloudy skies tonight with fog. Lows will be in the mid-50s at daybreak. For Tuesday, mostly sunny and warm with highs in the mid-70s. And the outlook for Wednesday, mostly sunny and warm again with highs in the mid-70s. This is meteorologist Dr. Bill Williams for FM Talk 1065.
FM Talk 1065, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority.
I'm Roseanne Haven from WKRG News 5. New information today about a man killed by an FBI SWAT team Friday at his apartment in Gulf Shores. Alexander Randalls had reportedly threatened to kidnap or injure more than a dozen local and federal authorities in Baldwin and Mobile counties. That's why the feds went to his home to arrest him. The Mobile County Sheriff's Office has ended its search for 7-year-old Hunter Slazak, who disappeared off the coast of Dauphin Island during a shrimping trip November 29th. The bodies of the child's father and family friend were recovered, but still no sign of Hunter. Mobile police arrested 28-year-old David Hale for breaking into a business. Officers say he broke into McMurphy Orthodontic Practice on South University Boulevard Saturday morning. I'm Roseanne Haven from WKRG News 5. Local coverage you can count on.
Hey, Alabama football fans, are you headed up to T-Town this fall for the game? If you forget to come by CannaBama first, you can shop at Tuscaloosa's first hemp dispensary, Freedom CBD and Wellness on 15th Street, just a mile up from campus. They have the largest selection of products in West Alabama and are ready to hemp you out with all your tailgate needs. Follow Freedom CBD and Wellness on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Roll Tide.
At CannaBama, we believe that CBD is for everyone. Our demographic is human. There's no race, age, gender, socioeconomic, education, or religious difference in our chemical and electrical systems. Let no human be excluded. We work hard to create an environment of learning. Our goal is to bring together all people in need of help while celebrating each moment of relief. Educate, advocate, unify, and celebrate. Find us at CannaBama.com, Facebook, and Instagram.
Mullins Lobbyist Firm is Alabama's frontline lobbyist team specializing in cannabis, autism, epilepsy, and small business. We fight for you in Montgomery. For information on current and future federal and state legislation, including S 4226 Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act and S 980 Industrial Hemp Act Farm Bill 2024, visit the website MullinsLobbyistFirm.com and follow us on social media. Is there a cause or issue you want to see changed or would like to get support for? Let us help you. Email al4medicalcannabisfreedom@gmail.com.
Native Black Cultivation is a true pioneer in Alabama's cannabis industry. As the first medical cannabis company to harvest in the state, they're committed to producing quality, sustainable cannabis. Native Black Cultivation blends integrity, innovation, and inclusivity to ensure every product from the farm meets the highest standard of quality and safety. Their mission extends beyond cultivation, focusing on social and economic change through education and community engagement. Visit nativeblackcultivation.com to learn more.
Welcome back to Sweet Home CannaBama. Now, with all the information you want about cannabis, here's your host, Jennifer Boozer.
Welcome back, everybody. Tonight we are talking with Guy and Anea about CLEA, a new product line specifically formulated for women going through the menopausal transition. That is perimenopause all the way through to the other side, the dark side.
No, then it gets light.
Light. All the way over to we're going to cross that valley of the shadow of death. Well, let's talk about the products because I definitely want to get into this. So you have 4 different products. Let's start with let's see. I've got the Focus here. Let's start with the Focus. Tell us about that.
So the Focus has been very popular among our, we had a number of women in our R&D group that ranged from a woman who had chemotherapy, and her brain fog was like menopause times 10 because of the chemotherapy as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so the focus is 50 milligrams of CBG, which is known for basically increasing cognitive ability.
That's what we use it for at CannaBama.
And it is, the experience for me was like looking out the window and seeing fog when I was in my brain fog state, and then taking a focus capsule, even a single one, and within 15 to 20 minutes, just feeling the fog clear. There's no high per se. It just feels like, oh my gosh, I can access my thoughts and my words more quickly and easily. And that's the same thing that we were hearing from women in our R&D group.
Right. It's almost like a euphoric relief. It's not going to make you feel impaired at all, but it's just, it's almost like that. Wow, this is great. I can finally, focus and get things done. We do a CBD-CBG combo a lot for focus, and it works so well without being a stimulant that's going to be bad for your heart and make you crazy and addicted and all that good stuff.
Or be crashing on the other side, which is why I can't do caffeine.
That's exactly right. I actually quit caffeine about 4 months ago, and it's been pretty great. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning now ready to go. And it's like, wait, what is happening? Because normally I have to rev up like an old Buick for an hour with coffee. And now it's just bing, it's pretty great, actually. It's similar to when I quit pain pills, my pain got better. It got to the point where it was better without than it was with. And I was like, man, I sure wish I had realized that was going to happen.
Right.
But yeah, so focus is a big deal. I know for a lot of women be able to have memory issues as well. When you feel foggy, you can't think in the moment and you can't remember anything, in my experience.
And again, we have a lot to get done as women. Like,
that's right.
My experience, myself and the women in my circle are like, I need to wake up and I need to hit the ground running.
Right.
And when you're going through this menopause transition, it just suddenly feels like you're moving through water or sand or something. Your to-do list becomes just a colossal undertaking.
Right. Because most people in that stage of life have grown kids. They've got grandkids, but they still work and they still want to help take care of their family, and they still have marriages and bills and all the things of life. At that stage, you're in that weird transition where you're still mom, but you're also moving into the later part of life where it's like, okay, how much more can you put on a woman's plate? And then like, hey, how about some hot flashes and night sweats?
Yeah, exactly. With a shot of brain fog. Yeah. And I do want to say, because it's really important, this is something that I did not know when I was 35, but perimenopause can start as early as 35. So as soon as those specifically estrogen starts to decline. So you have women in their late 30s that have no idea that it could be perimenopause, and they're going to doctors who are equally clueless, who are prescribing antidepressants when all that they need is the right. And in this case, you could easily have women who are 35 who are starting to have those symptoms. Please use a product like CLEA Midlife instead of taking antidepressants. It will serve you better.
Right. Because it's not going to add to the junk that's making you have these symptoms in the first place. Let's go back to the beginning and talk about inflammation, because our diets, is food even real anymore? Are we breathing anything that you could call clean air? Everything we wear, rub on, bathe in, everything's trying to kill us. And so then you mix in these hormonal ups and downs. And how do we fix that? You have to get the garbage out. And that's what I love so much about CBD, CBG, and all of the other anti-inflammatory components of the plant. You want to sweep out the garbage first so that the body can do what it was made to do. And you're right. Women that are in their 30s, they think they need diet pills and antidepressants and sleeping pills, and it just gets out of control. And then there are other symptoms, side effects. And by the time they actually start going through full-blown menopause, it's a hot mess.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of inflammation, that takes us nicely to the ease capsule. Did you want to say something? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, just as a note of the way we formulated the product, a lot of cannabis products are not really honoring the plant sometimes because they tend to over-refine it to the isolated compound. But, having been a longtime advocate, I believe in whole plant medicine. And when you're going to create whole plant medicine, it implies that the farmer did a good job.
Right.
So all our medicine starts at the farm. The farmer has to create a clean flower with juicy trichomes filled with whatever cannabinoids it may be,
right?
So that when we go to do it in a natural extraction process using lipid infusion or water or mechanical separation, we don't have any chance to remediate it. So whether the land has to be clean, because as you guys know, hemp is a bioremediator. So
yes, it is.
The land can't have anything untoward. There can't be any weird foliars or pesticides because that'll show up.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, we're not over-refining cannabis. And I think one of our key differentiators compared to what you might find, on Amazon or something like that, is that we are using the whole plant. And the whole plant means that we have to find farmers who really care about what they're doing and doing it in the cleanest, most organic way they can, so that when we go to create the product, we don't have to use any chemicals to refine it or remediate it at all.
Right.
So all the CLEA midlife products are clean from start to finish. The cannabis starts as a clean, awesome flower. And, I know that there's a lot of legal terms, but we grow cannabis sativa L,
mm-hmm.
a flower that has all these little great trichome crystals, of which in those crystal sacks we find cannabinoids and terpenes. We extract not only for cannabinoids and terpenes, but all the green phytonutrients as well, because I think that adds to the bioavailability.
100%.
We make the capsules and the massage oil using that infusion technology. And of course, that means, you commented on the smell, which I'm very proud of.
Yes.
And those essential oils are also all expeller pressed. They are not created with chemicals either to match the vibe of the cannabis that they're partnered with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it says amber and bergamot, two of my favorite scents. So I was pumped to get to open this and smell it, and it does. It smells amazing. I can't wait to try it. And it got 1,000 milligrams, which is nice. What about the, you said the ease capsules, Anaya, about the inflammation. Let's talk about that one real quick.
So menopause really creates an inflammatory state in the body because as estrogen drops, it is, so for all the other reasons you've already listed, Jennifer, about why we are creating inflammation, especially in Alabama,
mm-hmm.
We need high quality, high dose CBD, and the ease caps deliver that. So that is meant to reduce inflammation, joint pain, which is something else that I had suffered with, but also it is a wonderful way to mitigate anxiety, which is another sort of mood state that we tend to struggle with through the menopause transition.
Right. And the upheaval of things, and I'm sure that trauma and stress and all the things that life throws at us exacerbates these states of being whenever things are off kilter. But the balance, like I said before, that especially CBD and CBG bring by sweeping the body clean of all of those toxins, heavy metals, chemical residues, all the meds we take, and the pesticides that are in everything we eat, cleaning out the body so that the body can operate on the optimal level, because your hormones affect everything. They affect your ability to sleep, your brain's ability to function cognitively, all of that, even your immune system when your hormones are out of whack. And that goes for men too. Of course, men have their own menopause, and that'll be a whole different show if we can get some products for that. We've had a couple of calls about erectile dysfunction. I think it's past time that we talk about menopause as well, but it's life, life is weird and our bodies change, and we, just like you said, we can't be ashamed to talk about that.
Yeah, if we have the good fortune to live long enough, we are going to go through these changes. And so, my philosophy is if I'm going to be able, for as long as I'm going to be alive, I'm going to make sure that it's quality as well as quantity.
Right. Well, tell me about the Nourish Body Oil. What are your thoughts behind that one?
Ooh, okay. So, another of very common symptom of menopause is dryness, skin dryness, vaginal dryness. We have a product coming out for that in 2025, but we really wanted to create a body oil that would help to mitigate. For some women moving through the menopause transition, skin dryness can get so bad that between itching, scratching, it just becomes a painful state. And so again, wanting to create a product that has this incredible available oil, right? It's all natural, along with the cannabinoids to also be making the skin healthy, nourished. It's just, there's lots of, as you probably know, research about CBD.
Right.
And it's just profound impact, and that includes its impact topically on the skin.
Well, and
then
I
wanted
love
it
the
to smell
spray
wonderful.
too. You can spray it.
Yes.
I love that.
Which makes it everybody, we were on the fence about that. And
No, 100% knocked it out of the park there.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. No, that was definitely the move, because it's oil. You don't want to get it everywhere, but it is the droppers, because I use my droppers of tincture for everything. So it's a pain. It's messy. It's hard to maneuver. And then once you've got it on your hands, you've got it on your hands, So I love the concept of having a spray, because that'll help you to apply it and not just, I don't know. I'm sure I'll find a way to make a mess either way. But no, I never thought about the dry skin. That makes so much sense. When we come back, I'm sorry, when we come back from the break, we're going to finish up with Guy and Anaya and talk about menopause. Stay with us.
At CannaBama, we believe that CBD is for everyone. Our demographic is human. There's no race, age, gender, socioeconomic, education, or religious difference in our chemical and electrical systems. Let no human be excluded. We work hard to create an environment of learning. Our goal is to bring together all people in need of help while celebrating each moment of relief. Educate, advocate, unify, and celebrate. Find us at CannaBama.com, Facebook, and Instagram.
Mullins Lobbyist Firm is Alabama's frontline lobbyist team specializing in cannabis, autism, epilepsy, and small business. We fight for you in Montgomery. For information on current and future federal and state legislation, including S 4226 Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act and S 980 Industrial Hemp Act Farm Bill 2024, visit the website MullinsLobbyistFirm.com and follow us on social media. Is there a cause or issue you want to see changed or would like to get support for? Let us help you. Email al4medicalcannabisfreedom@gmail.com.
Native Black cultivation is a true pioneer in Alabama's cannabis industry. As the first medical cannabis company to harvest in the state, they're committed to producing quality, sustainable cannabis. Native Black cultivation blends integrity, innovation, and inclusivity to ensure every product from the farm meets the highest standard of quality and safety. Their mission extends beyond cultivation, focusing on social and economic change through education and community engagement. Visit nativeblackcultivation.com to learn more.
Hey, Alabama football fans. Are you headed up to T-Town this fall for the game? If you forget to come by CannaBama first, you can shop at Tuscaloosa's first hemp dispensary, Freedom CBD and Wellness on 15th Street, just a mile up from campus. They have the largest selection of products in West Alabama and are ready to hemp you out with all your tailgate needs. Follow Freedom CBD and Wellness on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Roll Tide.
Welcome back to Sweet Home CannaBama. Now, with all the information you want about cannabis, here's your host, Jennifer Boozer.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Sweet Home CannaBama here every Monday night at 7 o'clock Central on FM Talk 106.5. We're also live streaming from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and we will be on Citizen Green TV. So tonight we're talking with Guy and Anaya about CLEA, which is a brand of products specifically made for menopausal women. The skin dryness thing still has me. That's why I think this is important, what you guys are doing, because I didn't realize that was a super bad symptom that comes with that, that transition. So I'm still kind of wrapping my head around that, and that you guys were thoughtful enough to create a body oil for that reason. I'm so much more impressed every time I find out something new about what you guys are doing. And I just want to say congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Well, so let's talk a little bit more about something that you mentioned earlier about clean label and how, is that what your focus is, Guy? I know you've got your brand Papa and Barkley, and you've been in cultivation for a really long time. Is that your focus now, is creating this sort of standard in the way that products are manufactured?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. You know, of course, supporting EMEA is always my primary focus in life in general.
Yes.
But as far as my professional track now, it's like, yes, Papa Barkley, we were blessed to put the guardrails of plant medicine. And I thought it was obvious. Honestly, I thought that, you know, I, like everybody else, when I first jumped out, wanted to over-refine cannabis. You know, the drawback of prohibition is like scarcity. It's kind of like after alcohol prohibition. Everybody wants the moonshine because they don't know if they can get more.
Right.
You can always mix that and keep it. But we have safe access now, relative safe access. And it's time to move beyond potency into quality and experience. Moreover, like you mentioned, Americans are not eating clean food anymore. I think we are aware of that, and we are constantly now looking to spend a little bit extra to know what's real. Like, I'd rather get real butter from my friend who actually made it, because I know that the only thing in that butter is milk and cream, not all the other preservatives, so that it can sit on a supermarket shelf.
I 1,000% agree, because that's how we are killing ourselves slowly. And whether or not, I think the ship has sailed on, we didn't know. Now we know. And I think we're going to see a great transition where people, they can't ignore the fact that fast food and sugar is killing them. They can't. Surely not.
And moreover, I would have thought cannabis as an emerging consumer product category would have started right at the threshold of information. Oh, we already know that there's a move towards cleaner foods, cleaner, simpler labeled foods.
Right.
But yet, because of the way the money came in, we started a race to the bottom, going after cost of goods, making it cheap, making it able to sit on shelf forever.
Right.
And that doesn't do the consumer any service. And so after transitioning from Papa Barkley, in addition to supporting, of course, EMEA, I want to be that voice in cannabis that says, no, cannabis is plant medicine. It's about a natural alternative. And more importantly, the same way the cannabis industry has been very good at supporting women, it should also be supporting other modern ideals like clean, simple labels. There's no reason that we should be walking into a dispensary and finding products for whatever their use is. Even if you want to use the word recreation, it shouldn't have excess sugar. It definitely shouldn't have any banned dyes or weird chemicals.
Right.
And most importantly, it should be plant medicine. And by that, I mean, we should not be looking at our plant like biomass. We have this inflection point now where our future cannabis products can come from farms that look more like vineyards, where the farmer's doing the best possible job so that we don't have to over-refine it and create awesome value-added products, gummies, chocolates, whatever you might want to create. Or it'll go like everything else, where it'll be huge fields of cannabis to get cut with a combine, go into some laboratory, get distilled into a active pharmaceutical ingredient, which maybe eventually will come from petroleum. And now we step so far away from the plant, as in so many other instances. You think about every time herb medicine comes up, like turmeric or any time like that, you then go to CVS and you're looking at the ingredients and it's like the 15th ingredient. You're like, well, what's all this other stuff before I got to my herbal medicine? So we wanted to, for me personally, that's my passion, creating clean cannabis medicines where you can see the plant. If, you know, I'm sure it's the same in your dispensary. When somebody's shopping for a cannabis product, if they can't see the plant in that product, well, it's not a plant-made product. And in a way, to me, it's not cannabis, because we advocated for an alternative to what we had.
Right.
We have CVS, we have Walgreens, we have pharmacies. What we need is natural herbal medicine that's non-toxic, but yet effective. It's nature's miracle.
Right. And I think you got to also mention the fact that the biggest argument against any of this is that we're not regulated. We're not regulated. We're not regulated. But the refusal to regulate tells you all you need to know, really. If you have 3 brain cells to rub together, it's not hard to see that if they regulated it and held everyone to a high standard legally, then we would have lots of access to natural medicine, and then we wouldn't need the other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, right. and that's the hill we have to die on, though.
Yeah. And not to be conspiracy theory about it all, but
go ahead.
Most of the time, it's like, oh, what's grown in grandma's garden and made in grandma's kitchen can show up at a farmer's market, and there's a lot of people that don't like that.
Yeah.
If your grandma can put passion and make these awesome products, and sell them at the farmer's market or share them with a network of girlfriends, then pharma loses out. And that's their biggest fear.
Right.
So that I say, everybody can grow tomatoes. Hardly anybody does. In fact,
I make that exact same argument too. I really do.
Yeah.
Yes. How many people can grow tomatoes? Everybody raised their hand. Now, how many people actually do it? And it's like 3 out of 100. Yeah. That's exactly why industry will always be around. But that's also why we have to hold each other to a high standard. This whole trick of not regulating us so that they can call us unregulated is insane. And it's infuriating. And we have to make sure, and that's my goal. My goal is to set a standard here in Mobile, in Alabama, and in the country, that this is the way it should be done. You should get more information than anything else you get when you walk into one of these businesses, because we have to give people what they really need, and that's information. And everybody's trying to just make a quick buck, because we do have an amazing thing. And some of us are doing it well, and it is changing people's lives. And so they're trying to ride that, that wake. And man, it's annoying, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, look, in California, in the, what we call the legacy market now, from like about 1998 to 2016 in California, we had this medical program, and we essentially self-regulated. Shout out to SD Labs for being one of the first labs to step up and start taking people's products, even though there was no regulations, so that they could spit out codes so dispensaries could say, oh, these flowers were tested independently, even though they were made by somebody in the collective. So, for years, I worked in a situation where we had no real legitimate manufacturing spaces because we had no regulation. We had dispensaries and outlets, and sure, we self-regulated. To your point, everybody was a patient.
Right.
So we treated them as such, shared information with them, let them know what was up, made sure the product was clean, because if it blew back, it'd be on us.
Right.
Nobody wants to be in court with cannabis at all.
Right.
So this notion that they don't want to regulate us is to try to hold us back, but it won't, because the medicine is so powerful. There's a reason why people time and time again will risk being incarcerated for cannabis. It's because usually it fundamentally changes their life.
That's right.
With Papa Barkley, one of the big aha moments was, if I give you like a topical and it helps you alleviate your pain, or better yet, helps a loved one, that is way different than if I gave you a joint. If I gave you a joint, you're like, oh, that was fire, thank you. But if I help you manage your pain or help you go to sleep,
that's changing someone's life. You're right. That's how it changed mine. I'm afraid we're out of town tonight. Thank you so much for being with us all the way from California. We appreciate your willingness to share the good work that you're doing and help us to educate our community and the community at large, and expose us to even better information than we've already been trying to teach on the show. So thank you both for being with us tonight.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes. And well, anytime you guys have new products coming out, we'll have to have you back on the show, and we can talk about, I know you've got some stuff in the works for this next coming year. So we'd love to have you again sometime.
Yep. Topical and personal lubricant are next.
Hey, I'm a big fan of both of those things, because I've seen what they can do for people's lives and what they can do for women in particular. So I'm glad to bring that out. Remember, no show next week. Merry Christmas from our Canna fam to yours. We will see you next year. Almost next year on New Year's. God bless you guys, and good night.